Are you serious? Are you serious? We're very serious. We're extremely serious. And this is breaking news. Just has happened in the last 15 minutes. There has been a mega earthquake, a 7.6. Are you serious? A 7.6. They actually originally said that it was a 7.5. Now the U.S. Geological Survey has raised it to a 7.6 mega earthquake near the city of Colima, Mexico. In Colima, Mexico. Now, this is a city, let me tell you about this, okay, because this is huge. There is a tsunami in effect. It could actually reach the west coast of the United States. I'm going to tell you about this in a second. Let me put there's a shout out right now, if I could, for www.bastion.com. That's www.bastion.com/begs. That's www.bastion.com/begs. The world is headed for some dark times. In order to survive through the turbulence, you need access to vital information that is resilient to outages and protects your privacy. Bastion is the only decentralized, non-corporate, open-source social media network that's been built for you. Because of its unique architecture, it can work even during web outages when most websites simply do not open. Bastion achieves this with a Bitcoin-like node structure. So it's structured sort of like Bitcoin is. It's on a blockchain structure that runs Bastion on user computers around the bypassing sensors around the world. Do not lose access to alternative media during a crisis. Bastion is not connected to your phone number or your email and has no identity verification whatsoever. Therefore, you are free to speak your mind without worrying about any kind of blacklisting or retaliation or being cancel culture from the woke crowd. And finally, it has a peer-to-peer encrypted chat to protect your communication with friends from snooping eyes. Now, I'm active on Bastion, and I actually have been putting up several videos over there. They are videos that you won't find anywhere else. And I think I've put 11 of them now, to put out 2 yesterday. The internal token of Bastion, corporate social networks start out good, but frequently later resort to censorship and sell their users down the river. Bastion is open sourced. No arbitrary censorship is even possible. So if you want to find out more about it, it's www.bastion.com/begs. That's BEGS. That is my handle, BEGS. So that's www.bastion.com/begs, BEGS. Okay, here's what's going on this earthquake. It is significant. It is a 7.6 earthquake. It has rocked Mexico. Now, they felt it in Mexico City, 275 miles away. It shook buildings swayed. People ran into the streets in panic in Mexico City, even though that was 275 miles away. The earthquake shakes the buildings in Mexico City. Buildings shook. Residents of the capital of Mexico City ran into the streets after this mega earthquake of 7.6 struck near the coast of western Mexico just about 20 minutes ago. The U.S. Geological Survey said in an initial report that the quake was registered at 7.5, but they have now said it is a 7.6 and it is 15.1 kilometers deep. So in other words, it is about 9 miles deep. So this is a very shallow quake, and it's a very big quake. So when you have a big quake, it depends how shallow it is or how deep it is. But when you have a shallow quake that's this big, you've got a problem. And they do. Matter of fact, there is a tsunami in effect. I repeat, there is a tsunami warning in effect. Now, the tsunami, from what I understand, is expected. Now, give me just a second, and I'll get more on that, because it was just breaking, and I mean just breaking. And there's 28,000 people in the city of Colima, Mexico. 28,000 people in Colima, Mexico. There is damage. There could be casualties. It's just only been 20 minutes ago. We don't know the extent of it. We do know there's also a tsunami that's been released. The question is, how big is that tsunami? And the first indication was it could be headed toward the west coast or toward the San Diego area. But I want to get as good info as I can. So if you give me just a moment, and we'll try to I'll try my best because it's coming in as we speak. Yes. Okay. Yes. This 7.6, this is 2 minutes ago, 7.6 magnitude earthquake rocked the Pacific coast of Mexico, and NOAA's National Oceanic Atmospheric Association of the United States, NOAA, has issued a tsunami warning in alert. Emergency officials say it's still too early to determine how large or whether or not Hawaii is in danger. So now they're talking about Hawaii. They don't know how large or if Hawaii is in danger, but they do know there is a tsunami. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center says it is too early to determine whether the tsunami is a threat to Hawaii. It's too early to determine whether the tsunami is a threat to Hawaii, as this earthquake at 7.6 hit on the coast of Mexico near Colima, Mexico, or in Colima, or right near Colima, Mexico. There is a tsunami warning, and now we have another report coming in. It says that this is coming out of Maui, and it says this large 7.6 earthquake off Mexico tsunami is a threat. I repeat, it is a threat to Hawaii. It's being evaluated. There is a tsunami, and there is a threat to Hawaii. How bad a threat is still being evaluated. Now, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center reports that the tsunami threat to Hawaii, earliest estimate would be that the tsunami would hit at 3:19 p.m. local time today in Hawaii. That would be 3:19 local time this afternoon, Hawaii time. Now, how big is the tsunami? We don't know. How bad is this threat? We don't know. Is there a tsunami? Yes. And the question is, where is this thing headed to? It sounds like very possible that Hawaii could be in its first path. But even if it's not Hawaii, there's so many other islands out there, guys. There's so many more that could be in harm's way. You got Guam, you got the American Samoa, and then you go on past that. There's more that would be possibly in danger. So give me some more, a moment here. I'm going to check some more here. I'm getting ready to go catch a plane. I mean, I was just getting ready. I'm all packed and ready to go. Getting ready to go out the door here in just a little bit. But before this just hit, just happened about 22 minutes ago, and it is definitely a mega quake, a 7.6. I repeat, a 7.6 mega quake has just rocked Mexico, and in Colima, Mexico. A 7.6. Let me do some more research. I'll be right back after this song, and I'll have more info. We do have a 7.6 earthquake. It has hit Mexico, and near Colima, Mexico, there is damage, and there is a tsunami, and there is a threat to Hawaii. How big is this tsunami? Don't know. I'll be right back.
God, I'm so scared for this crooked generation. You even find faith in the earth when you bring down revelation. Forgive us now the sins of our youth, worshiping the idols that knew everything but the truth. Teach us how to uncorrupt our minds. Show us now while we still have the time. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We abandon everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street.
How much will we see before the fire falls? Lord, could this really be the last altar call? We need your blood over the doorpost of our hearts. Anoint us with your fiery love as the praise and worship starts. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We need you, Yeshua. Holy, holy, hallelujah. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the streets. Oh, we abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the streets. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street. We abandoned everything to follow you, our King. We throw our gold and silver in the street. All right, we have some breaking news. We do have some more information on the earthquake. A 7.6 earthquake has hit Mexico, near Colima, Mexico. There is damage being reported in Colima. But more importantly, maybe, who knows if it's more importantly, but definitely important, there is a tsunami. The tsunami warning is in effect, not a watch. It is a warning. There is a tsunami. How big, they don't know. It's being evaluated as we speak by NOAA. But they do know that it is a threat to Hawaii. According to reports out of Maui, Hawaii, the report is that it's still too early to determine how large, but a 7.6 magnitude earthquake that reported near the coast of Michoacan, Mexico, was only 6 miles deep. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center reports that this tsunami threat is for Hawaii, with the estimated time that the hazard might begin at around 3:19 p.m. local time this afternoon in Hawaii. And that's 3:19 local time, which is, I'm trying to think if that's an 8-hour difference between Hawaii and Eastern. I need to check that right now. Somebody maybe can look real quick. The buoys have definitely moved. The buoys have moved. So then there's another report just in, this one about 3 minutes ago, that the tsunami warning has been issued by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center after this mega 7.6 earthquake at the Mexican state of Mocoan near Colima, Mexico. This strong earthquake shakes central Mexico. We do not know of any casualties or loss of life. Of course, it's too early to know. But we do know there is a tsunami in effect. I do have a video, and I can't show it to you because I don't have the ability to do that. But I'm going to just take a peek at it. This is a video taken from Mexico City, which is 275 miles away. Wow. Wow. All right, the siren's going off. A building, a skyscraper, looked like about a 40-story skyscraper shaking like that. The traffic lights going like that. The sirens going off. People running in the streets. That's in Mexico City, which is safely 275 miles away. Here's another video. This was 58 miles. Okay, this is near Colima, Mexico. Here's a video from Colima. Thousands of people are in the streets. There is damage. Okay, there's thousands of people in the streets. I see ambulances. There is damage, but it's just one video and it's one location. Very hard to see just what that means. That's in the city of Colima. But we do know this. This is a 7.6. The U.S. Geological Survey, they first said it was a 7.5. The U.S. Geological Survey has increased the strength of this earthquake to a 7.6. They've also adjusted how deep it was. They're calling it a 15.1 kilometer. That's about 9 miles deep. Other reports say it's 6 miles deep. We do know there is a tsunami warning in effect by NOAA. There is a tsunami warning in effect by NOAA. The threat is to Hawaii. The earliest estimate time that the hazard might begin would be 3:19 p.m. this afternoon, Hawaii time. So I'm looking now. Does anyone know? It's 8:56 in Hawaii, 8:56 a.m. I take it, Richard. Okay, so if that's the case, they're about 6 hours, and 20 minutes when the beginning effects of the tsunami would begin to come to shore, okay, in about 6 hours. So there is time. And certainly the people in Hawaii, I'm sure that the sirens by now are going off. In what part of Hawaii? Well, they won't know that. They know it's coming toward you got, what is there, 7 islands over there? They know that it's six hours away. You're going to have a roaring wave coming in that direction. The question's going to be, when will it get there? Approximately the earliest it will get there is 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time, or in 6 hours. And the question is, how big is the tsunami? And what part would affect it? It's impossible to know as far as which shores. Obviously all the shores facing southwest toward Mexico, kind of in the southwestern, would be, southeastern, southeastern shores would certainly seem to be in effect. All the shores that are east facing, they would certainly be in effect. But how or what would they hit, don't know. I'm still looking. I did see a report about possible affecting of San Diego, but I haven't seen any more on that. So hang on. Just hang on. So again, too early to tell as far as how big it is. Too early to know just how much of an impact it would be toward in Hawaii, but it does look like Hawaii is in the, at least initially looks like it's in the path. They do know that if this tsunami does come ashore in Hawaii, it would start hitting at 3:19 p.m. Eastern, 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time, which is 6 hours from now. So people have some time to make some adjustments, hopefully, in Hawaii. Again, this was a mega quake, a 7.6. Let me check and see, 7.6 earthquake. Still too early to determine the size of this tsunami threat to Hawaii, but it is an earthquake that has caused a tsunami. The tsunami threat there is one toward Hawaii. The earliest estimate that the hazard tsunami might come ashore would be 3:19 p.m. Again, that's the earliest. It could hit half hour later. It could bounce off. You know, there's a lot of things could happen. It may not be as large. The larger part of the tsunami may go past Hawaii, maybe, but still some of the wave would hit. You know, it's too early. They have to study the buoys now and the speed and the height of this thing to try to get a handle on it. The good news is they got some time to try to get a handle on it before it reaches there. Now, did it also cause a tsunami anywhere up the coast of Mexico? We don't have any reports on that. That's possible. There's also the possibility, and I saw one report, that it could have went up part of the, because tsunamis go like this, okay? They just spread. It's possible that it could have swung it toward the north and headed toward Southern California. I saw one report on that. I have not seen any more on that. Maybe that is not the direction it's going to go, or if it does, it won't be very much. But we know this. We definitely have a earthquake of 7.6. We definitely have it, and there is a tsunami warning that has been issued by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. Also, NOAA has also done the same thing. Now the U.S. Geological Survey has upped the earthquake from original 7.5. They said, nope, it is even stronger than that. It is a 7.6 earthquake, and it has a depth of 15.1 meters, which is about 9 miles deep, which is very shallow. A large quake that shallow is major dangerous, okay? No doubt about that. Colima, Mexico has definitely been affected. Even people are running in the streets in Mexico City. There has certainly been a powerful quake. We do not know about casualties. It's too early to tell. It depends. You know, it just really is. It all depends on how bad it shakes an area that's populated. But Colima, Mexico is a city of 28,000 people. Not very large, but there's, you know, plus there's some outerlying areas there. But still, nobody wants to have a 7.6 earthquake anywhere near you, okay? This thing is huge. Let me just see what else we have on this quake right now. Let me just check again. 1 second here. Okay. What is the latest? Okay, I do have some information here. We might be okay. United States might be okay. It is a big earthquake. It is a 7.6 megaquake in Mexico, near the water, and there is a tsunami threat within a 300-kilometer of the epicenter. No tsunami threat for the United States or Canada West Coast. So that has been removed. That threat has been removed, thank God. There is no tsunami wave threat toward the United States or Canada's West Coast. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center says it could be a 9-foot tidal wave possible along some coast of Mexico, and also it could also, again, 9 feet or higher could possibly hit Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, and Peru. Okay, so this is significant. That's quite a bit of the Central and even South American countries. Hawaii is still in effect. Matter of fact, the earliest that the wave would get to Hawaii would be 3:19 p.m. Hawaii local time. And so there's a lot of shaking and quaking going on, that's for sure. And we may have some more updates on all of this. Give me 1 second here. There's one report there. Give me a moment here. Let's see. What else have they got going here? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, guys, for trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm gonna get into our song. We'll be right back, guys. We're continuing to. This is a very fluid situation. I've got more information coming at me now. Give me 1 second here. I'll be right back after this song. We definitely have a problem.
Keep your helmet, keep your license, just a flesh wound. Here's your rifle, crawling up the beaches now. So I think he's bleeding out, and some things you just can't speak about. With your eyes, so with your rifle down.
There has been no aftershocks as of now, but of course that is a dangerous concern.
Only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just one single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you see. With your eyes, with your eye fall down, down. Watch you breathe in, watch you breathe in, out. With your eyes, with your eye fall down, down. Just you breathe in, watch you breathe in, out. Only 20 minutes to sleep, but you dream of some epiphany. Just a single glimpse of relief to make some sense of what you see.
We do have more update on the on this earthquake. We do have more of an update on this earthquake, and that is it is a 7.6 megaquake according to the U.S. Geological Survey. It is definitely did some serious shaking in Mexico. 275 miles away from the epicenter, it was felt in Mexico City. People were running into the streets. I've seen that. Buildings were swaying. I've seen the videos on that. People thought that this was the big one, and they don't know. It is a big one, but it was 275 miles away from Mexico City. Near Colima, Mexico, Colima, Mexico is a city of 28,000 people. There is damage. We do not know the extent. We do not know any casualty reports as of now. It's way too early to know, as it's been just about an hour since this quake hit. We also know that there is, I repeat, a tsunami warning in effect. There is a tsunami. Question is, how big and where will it hit? The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center reports that if there is a tsunami threat to Hawaii, that the earliest estimate time that the hazard might begin is 3:19 p.m. 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time, or about 6 hours from now. Another report, though, is that the VIA Pacific Tsunami Warning Center says the tsunami wave is about 9 feet above the tide possible along some coast of Mexico. Tsunami waves less than that above tide possible on the coast of Colombia and Costa Rica, and actually several other nations. It was Colombia, Costa Rica, it was Ecuador, it was Panama, it was Peru. I'm trying to remember just how many it was off the top of my head right now. I don't see where I put that one. But several countries are potentially in a danger of about a 9, anywhere from, let's say, 4, 5 to 9 feet of a strong tsunami that would be along the Mexican border, along also in some of the countries in Central and South America, as I was just naming them, a few there for you. That we know. Now, as far as Hawaii is concerned, there's definitely concern. Now, there's nothing official other than there is a warning in effect for Hawaii. They are being notified that they have a warning. There's a tsunami out there. The tsunami is headed in their general vicinity. Will it hit Hawaii or not? it's unknown. How big would it be when it gets there is still unknown. The buoys are still being monitored, and the scientists are working on this right now very feverishly to find out exactly how to report this or what type of warning to give, other than there is a tsunami warning in effect for those parts of, for Hawaii. Okay, there's some people are saying there was 2 quakes. That there was a 7.5 and a 7.6. You know, sometimes I know that sometimes those, you know, because you have more. I'm just looking at the U.S. Geological Survey, but I do know that there's other earthquake monitoring websites or systems that monitor quakes. Sometimes it'll show 2, boom, boom, when it's actually still just 1. Okay, that happens a lot. I've seen them go boom, boom, and then later they'll go back and say, no, it was just really 1. Or it was the vibration of the quake made it look like there were 2, and that could make them look like they're 15 seconds apart or something like that. But at this point, the U.S. Geological Survey is still not saying that. And not that it isn't possible. Not that it isn't possible. They may come back later and tell us that there was a second earthquake within less than 30 seconds from the first one. We don't know. But they haven't showed us, there's been no update of earthquakes in the last hour anywhere in the world on the U.S. Geological Survey, which says to me that they've stopped posting for a moment as they're in the process of analyzing it. Now they're not, you know, because usually there would have been another quake somewhere in the world, at least over 4.0 somewhere in the world within an hour of each other. Usually there is. Sometimes there's not, but usually there is. And they're not showing any aftershocks yet. Not that there won't be. The danger here, and this is the exact fault line that runs along the Mexican border right on up to San Diego. This is the exact fault line that Mike from the World has been very concerned about. Actually, there was a 3.4 earthquake in Pinos, California, just before this one hit in Mexico. So it's right on the same fault line. So first the quake hit in Pinos, California, which is Southern California. It was a 3.4 earthquake right on that danger fault line that runs all the way down along the west coast of the United States, all the way up the west coast of Canada, all the way up even into Alaska, and all the way down through the Mexican, all the way down the entire border of Mexico. That's the exact spot where this big quake has hit. This is the one that Mike around the world's been talking about probably for the last 2 years repeatedly. Keeps talking about it. This is the quake that he said could happen. This is the fault line that could cause a quake that could cause the city of San Diego to raise up 45 degrees and flow into the ocean. This is that fault line. This isn't that quake, thank God. Let's hope it's not. What makes me nervous, though, is that it is a 3.4 earthquake that hit in Tres Pinos, California, and it hit there. And I'm just going to see how. Okay, and then this one hits here. Let me see how much time was in between them. Looks like 14 hours ago. So 14 hours ago, we had a 3.4 earthquake that hit Tres Pinos, California. And on the exact same fault line, 14 hours later, a mega 7.6 has hit Mexico. There is a tsunami. It's going to hit somewhere, probably along the Mexican coast. It's probably going to hit several other countries in Central and South America. How big is those tsunamis could be around 9-foot wave. How far are we from? And then, but this threat is also headed toward Hawaii. There is tsunami warnings in effect for Hawaii. The earliest that tsunami would get to Hawaii would be at 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time, which right now it's 3:19 p.m. Eastern time. That means it's exactly 6 hours from right now, that tsunami, if it's going to hit Hawaii, it would start coming ashore in Hawaii. Good news is, for those of you in Southern California and the coast of California and the coast of Canada, the tsunami is not going to affect the West Coast. Originally, there was concern immediately that could potentially Southern California could also have gotten hit with a tsunami, but that's not going to happen. The tsunami is not going to hit the West Coast of the United States or the West Coast of Canada. But Hawaii is in the path and is 6 hours from now. The wave would be coming, the first initial wave would be hitting Hawaii. How hard, how big, how effective, it's way too early to know. There's just a warning. The warning means a tsunami is approaching. A tsunami is coming. Doesn't mean that it's going to do a drastic any damage. May just barely glance. The bulk of it may go right on by. We may find out there's other island nations that are actually going to be in greater danger than Hawaii. But certainly, we're watching this very closely because and the information is flowing in right now very carefully. At first, they jumped out and they let us know how big and where it was at, near Colima, Mexico. They say there is damage, but now they're not reporting any casualty reports. They're withholding all that information now. And it is early. It's just been a little over an hour. It is early, but still, they're going to be very selective with the information. Is typically what happens, and that's okay. They're going to be a little bit more cautious now, not to create a panic. Yes, they know there's been a big quake, okay, and they know there's a tsunami out there, and they know that hopefully it will not hurt Hawaii. We're still waiting for more updates on that. Now, we have another report just now coming in. This one has just been released. And now they're saying no tsunami threat to Hawaii, which would be beautiful if that's true. No tsunami threat to Hawaii. That'd be wonderful. Let's triple check who's saying that, though. What agency? This major earthquake that struck the Pacific coast of Mexico, but it's still too early to tell if it posed a threat to Hawaii. So now it's still saying it's too early to say. So that's still the report everywhere else. Too early to say, but there is a tsunami warning that's been announced by NOAA, and the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has put out a warning, tsunami warning, in effect for the residents of Hawaii. They've even said that the tsunami threat to the island, the earliest time that the hazard would hit would be 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time. But that doesn't mean that's the only time that the waves would hit. You know, when you're dealing with a tsunami, you're dealing with multiple waves. And because it's a reverberation, there are no immediate reports of damage from this earthquake, but it is still too early to report. There is reports, though, of some damage, and some reports that there is damage, but no casualty reports as of now. Hopefully somehow we can dodge everything. Maybe we can dodge the tsunamis. Maybe the damage is minimal. Maybe we don't. I always look for the positive here, that it's possible that maybe we can escape this. This is a mega quake of 7.6 and very shallow at 15.1 kilometers. And like I said, there's been no update at the U.S. Geological Survey. At first they said it was a 7.5 earthquake. Then they upgraded it to 7.6, and then it was 15.1 kilometers deep. And since then, there's been no update to any earthquake activity anywhere in the world of a quake over 4.0. I'm going to be right back. We'll get another song. I'll be right back. We'll continue to search and see if we have any more information on this. But pray, because this is very, very interesting what's taking place here. I see geese flying high above the water, the child fishing with his father in the rain. I can smell blackberry brandy and chocolate-covered candy. I see a soldier crying on a train, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. Feel the deepness of his weakness. I can taste the brandy sweetness at a roadside Idaho cafe. I can hear old Teddy laughing, Fitzgerald's toes a-tapping to the roaring sounds of yesterday, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And the light under the Tiffany lamp glows all night long as I dream with weary wonder, leaving Earth before the dawn. I walk the lonely streets of Paris. I was lost and so afraid, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. And a shotgun blast echoed across the page, falling asleep, reading Hemingway. We do have some updates on this major earthquake, a mega quake of 7.6. This is, of course, Feast of Trumpets is going to be this coming Sunday. And so if you're sending in your Feast of Trumpets offering, send it the best you have. Give what the Lord tells you to give. It's a free will offering. And send it with your prayer request. And we will take those prayer requests with us. We're going to pray over them, but we will take them with us to Israel, to the wall for prayer there in Jerusalem in February of 2023. We do this, and boy, we look forward to taking all of these special prayer requests with us to Jerusalem. You can give your Feast of Trumpets offering 4 different ways. You can text give. That number is 765. You just text the word give to 765-327-4200. That's 765-327-4200. Or you can, Hang on just a second here. Heidi is calling. Hang on one moment. Heidi, you're on the air live. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, darling.
Good.
I was just trying to play phone tag with you, but that's okay.
You're playing phone tag with me?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know about the earthquake in Mexico?
No, I didn't hear about
Yeah,
it.
it's
What happened?
7.6.
Oh, no.
Yeah, magnitude, very shallow. And
Uh-huh.
there is a tsunami warning in effect for
Uh-huh.
Hawaii, but
Oh.
but also for the coast of Mexico and several other countries,
Mhm.
Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama, Peru, Ecuador, Nicaragua, all the way down. Now the good news, the good news is they don't know how big the tsunami is,
Mhm.
and they have 6 hours before it would get to Hawaii. That will give them some time to figure out how big it is and prepare.
Wow.
But right now it looks like 9 feet.
Wow, that just keeps happening, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So
Taiwan and now over here.
Taiwan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had a 7.0 not long ago near the Loyalty Islands. Then Taiwan, like you said, 6.6.
Yeah, I know Wages World was talking about it too. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, well, Taiwan, I haven't heard this. He's probably on it though. He's good.
I'd say he probably is on it.
Mhm.
I was able to break it within the first 13 minutes or so after it hit, but it just happened to be a stroke of the Lord, I guess. That's all I know. Just happened to glance, and there it was.
All right. Well, you take care of business. I'm taking care of your mama. So.
All right, take care of my mama, and then I'm going to be headed to the airport.
Okay.
All right, talk to you later, darling. See you later.
Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So yeah, she hadn't heard, and very, very strong, very powerful earthquake. And so let's take a look at this. Here's the latest information just come in. We did get some more info, and so let me share that with you. This is coming out of Yakima. A report says that a strong earthquake shakes Mexico at 7.6 on the Richter scale. Very shallow quake shook Mexico's central Pacific coast, setting off seismic alarms and rattling the capital of Mexico City on the anniversary of 2 earlier devastating quakes that had happened a few years ago. There's no immediate reports of the significant damage from the quake. We do know that some foundations have been cracked, some buildings have been damaged, but near Colima. But the quake was centered 37 kilometers or 23 miles southeast of Aquila, near the boundary of Colima and Michoacan, at a depth of 9.4 miles or 15.1 kilometers, 9.4 miles deep. Very shallow for a 7.6 earthquake. Also, there's some damage in a smaller town called Colacoman, Mexico. Mexico's National Civil Defense Agency said that the Navy's Tsunami Center had not issued an alert because due to the epicenter's location, no variation in sea levels was expected, they said. However, contradicting that was an alert by the U.S. Tsunami Warning Center. It said that there was a hazardous tsunami waves, very possible for the coast of Hawaii, and that it would arrive at 3:19 p.m. local time, Hawaii time. Then they said, they also said that there's hazardous tsunami waves, very possible for all along the coast, 186 miles from the epicenter. Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum tweeted that there was no reports of any damage in her city, though buildings were swaying and people were running into the streets. Alarms were going off for the new quake came less than an hour after a quake alarms had already hit the nation because they did a earthquake simulation. They actually did a earthquake simulation drill 1 hour before this quake hit in remembrance of two deadly quakes that had already hit Mexico on this exact same day of September 19th. It was September 19th, 1995 and September 19th, 2017, where two different deadly quakes had hit. On the anniversary of those two quakes, they have a 7.6 earthquake again on the same date, September 19th, this time 2022. There was also, it said they heard alarms were sounded far away. Spotlight, some of the lights had gone out. There was massive traffic problems because you can imagine it shook the roads. It shook the cars in the roads. And so this is where we're at on this powerful earthquake. There's a report coming out of Hawaii that this powerful earthquake strikes Mexico, and still unknown how big a tsunami threat it is to Hawaii. But that if the earliest that the hazard would come is 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time. So that seems to be the consistency of that report, is that there is a tsunami warning in effect for Hawaii. It is a little more than, it's about 6 hours from now, a little less than 6 hours from now. I don't know how big it would be. I don't feel like it's going to be large, but I don't want to give that impression and then be totally wrong. And I also don't want to give the impression it's going to be massive and have total chaos. I think what the U.S. Geological Survey is doing is analyzing the buoys very, very intensely, but going ahead and starting with the caution, but watching to see so they can get a handle on what the size of this tsunami is. They're also got to be watching all along the coast of Mexico and all the southern, the central and southern Americas for any kind of serious impact. Now, like I said, 14 hours ago, on the same exact fault line that runs from Mexico all the way up along the Mexican coast, all the way up into Southern California, the fault line that Mike from the World has been very, very concerned about. 14 hours before this Mexico earthquake, there was a 3.4 earthquake that hit Tres Pinos, California. It was very shallow. It was only 8 kilometers deep, so they felt it. That happened at 14 hours ago, okay, before this quake. Then there was a 4.5 earthquake in the Philippines, followed by a 4.4 in Russia, followed by a 4.9 in Colombia. Then there was a 4.7 in Portugal, a 3.6 in Petersville, Alaska, a 3.2 in the national park in Alaska, a 4.2 in Guatemala, which is on the same fault line. And that one was 8 hours ago. And then there was a 4.6 in Chile, a 4.5 in the Philippines, a 4.7 in India, a 4.5 in Portugal, a 5.8 in the Mid-Indian Ridge, a 5.6 in the Mid-Indian Ridge, and then the 7.6 megaquake in Aquila, Mexico, 7.6 in Aquila, Mexico, only 15.1 kilometers deep or 9.4 miles deep. And then for over an hour, the U.S. Geological Survey has not given us another report of another earthquake anywhere in the world of significance. So that means they are busy studying this quake. They don't show any aftershocks, nothing. They're just concerned with the tsunami. They're trying to get that right. And that is very odd that you could have a 7.6 earthquake and then nothing for over an hour anywhere in the world of earthquake over 4.0. Very odd, which makes me feel like there probably has been, but they haven't been reported. And it sounds like these guys are absolutely consumed with trying to track the tsunami progress to get a handle on what that means as far as a tsunami is concerned. We have reports that the U.S. The United States Tsunami Warning Center said there was a risk of a tsunami near the coast of Mikokan, Mexico. Then the report came in that the specific Tsunami Warning Center reports that if there is a tsunami threat to Hawaii, the earliest estimated time for the hazard might begin at 3:19 p.m. Hawaii time today on September 19th. The next report update we got was this, that via Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said the tsunami waves of 9 feet above tide possible along some coast of Mexico, with tsunami waves less than above the tide possible on the coast of Colombia, Costa Rica, and a bunch of other nations that I didn't list them all. Then we have a report that came in that a powerful earthquake has struck Mexico, but it's still too early to determine whether there is a possible tsunami threat to Hawaii. Yet the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center said that this 7.6 magnitude quake had hit. Okay, so we have conflicting reports, but also some consistency that this thing was at least a 7.6, and that's quite large. I mean, that's a mega quake. Our prayers are going up to everybody in Mexico and everybody in Central and South America along the coastal areas that could receive damage from a tsunami. Also, we're praying for Hawaii and any other islands that's out there in the Pacific Ocean that may be in the path of some type of tsunami waves or rogue waves. And this will take some time because it won't get there for 6 hours. We're also praying for many of you out there that, of course, are saying, wow, as Heidi said, as she was on the phone with us earlier, this is serious situation, how just Taiwan was hit Saturday with a 6.6 earthquake, 6 miles deep. And then Sunday, Taiwan was hit with a 7.0 earthquake, 6 miles deep. And now today, Mexico hit with a 7.6 megaquake, and it's 9 miles deep. Okay? So someone is saying that there may be a 5.1 earthquake may have hit in Mexico, but that's not being reported on the U.S. Geological Survey. But that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. Some of these other geological groups that measure magnitude of earthquakes may already be reporting that there have been other earthquakes, yet the U.S. Geological Survey is not moved. They first said it was a 7.5 earthquake, and the U.S. Geological first said, sorry if you hear me slurring or tired, I'm sorry. I sometimes have a problem, dealing with being able to regurgitate information since I had that stroke. So I apologize, and I'll take a little break and just get a song, give myself a chance to, recuperate from that. I'll be right back after this. He was saying grace over a Tuesday blue plate special when the man in the next booth said, "Don't you watch TV? Don't you know that God's a myth? I hate to see you waste your breath. There ain't no use in you talking to a ghost that don't exist." The praying man said amen and looked up from his plate and said, "You may not talk to God right now, but there's gonna come a day. If you're a farmer in the field, praying for the rain, or you curse him at the gravesite 'cause he called her loved one's name, you can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him. Whether you believe in him or not. In the end, everybody talks to God. The man in the booth went quiet, 'cause he didn't have a comeback. So he shrugged it off and he paid his tab. He shuffled out the door. And the praying man, he prayed for the man who drove away, hoping he would see the light before it got too late. But how was he to know he touched an unbeliever's soul? Who got that conversation 2 red lights down the road? If you're a farmer in the field, praying for the rain, or you curse him at the gravesite, 'cause he called a loved one's name, you can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him. Whether you believe in him or not. In the end, everybody talks to God. Everybody talks to God. You can thank him, you can blame him. Either way, you're gonna face him. Whether you believe in him or not. That's the truth. 'Cause in the end, everybody talks to God. Everybody talks to God. We all talk to God. Oh, it's such a great song. And such a true song. 7.6 mega quake shakes Mexico. Tsunami warning for Hawaii still in effect. But the U.S., this is the latest info. The U.S. Tsunami Warning Center said a tsunami was possible along parts of the Mexican coastline within about 200 miles of the quake epicenter. But there was no threat for the United States West Coast, and that's important. Another report said there was no threat for the United States West Coast or Canadian coast. There is a threat, though, still for the Mexican coast and Central America and even parts of South America, and there's still a threat for Hawaii. But how big, we don't know. We do know that there was a 6 hours, at least heads up, that Hawaii would have, that the earliest that a tsunami wave would reach the Hawaiian Islands would be at 3:19 p.m. Hawaiian time. But I'm feeling better every moment that goes by without any major confirmation of a major tsunami. Every time, and now it's been about an hour, I'm feeling more and more relaxed, more and more better, that if a tsunami does hit somewhere, it won't be as big. Or I'm feeling better all the time that maybe Hawaii is not going to get hit at all. Or maybe if they are, it's going to be very small. So I'm feeling that. But I can't confirm it other than I'm feeling that, okay? So thank you guys for praying. I think it's good that we found out about this as soon as we did. Like I said, I found out about it 12 minutes after the quake hit. At that time, it was a 7.5 earthquake. By the time I went live, it changed to 7.6. I then knew how deep it was at 9.4 miles. I knew where the epicenter was. And then while we were on the air, we found out that a tsunami warning was given by the U.S. By the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center for Hawaii. We found out more about what parts of the coast of Mexico and parts that are being affected the most. So, but it's been over an hour now, and we're feeling like, but now to say the danger's over with, forget about it. No, it is way too early to say this danger's past. And also it's way too early to find out what the damage was. Now we've seen that we have somebody saying that there was a 6.1 in Mexico, and there could have been a 6.1. It's probably been recorded on a different U.S. Geological Survey map, a different map, I should say, a different Richter scale, and it doesn't shock me. A lot of times the other Richter scales will report it before the U.S. Geological Survey does. But it's really, the only strange thing is that the U.S. Geological Survey reported it at 7.6, a 7.6 earthquake in Aquila, Mexico, and have not, and that was at 2:05 p.m. Eastern, and they have not reported another quake. No, that's wrong. It was 3:05, wasn't it? No? Yeah, it's 3:05. Okay, so they have not posted another quake for 45 minutes. I find that strange. I find that very strange. But not that isn't, and especially when others are saying, hey, there was another quake. It was 6.1 in Mexico. So they just haven't posted it yet on the U.S. Geological Survey. All right, guys, I'm going to go. I got to go catch a plane. I'm praying, though, that everything will work out, and praying for all of you out there. So God bless you all, and keep looking up, okay? Keep looking up. As I preached yesterday, you need to be rapture ready. And guys, guess what? Sunday is the Feast of Trumpets. Here we are. And now you're seeing earthquakes going off like crazy, tsunami warnings. You're seeing wars and rumors of wars, all kinds of strange things happening with hurricanes, typhoons, major storms. And you know, maybe the trumpet's going to sound. Maybe the last trump of God is going to sound. Prepare yourselves, for those of you sending in your offerings for the Feast of Trumpets. Again, send those in with your special prayer request. We will then take those to the wall when we go to Israel in February of next year. Feast of Trumpets is coming this Sunday. That's Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets, September 25th. Get your offerings in with your prayer request, and certainly on that day you want to be giving them. Go ahead and give them in advance, but certainly on that day. And then, of course, then that takes you through the 10 days of awe. We'll be receiving your offering, your Feast of Trumpet offerings during those next 10 days leading up to the Yom Kippur. So you've got time. You've got the rest of this week before the Feast of Trumpets, and then you have 10 days after the Feast of Trumpets before Yom Kippur. So you've got time to get your best offering in with your prayer request so that we can send that on, take it with us we're going to take it with us to Israel in February of 2023. And you can go with me to Israel. I had a lady come up to me Sunday here in Florida saying she wants to go, and so we were sending her to Tara to get her signed up and get her ready to go. There were other people saying they want to go. And there's still seats available, but you need to hurry, okay? You need to hurry and get signed up. Get your deposit down and locked down, because we are headed to Israel. And God told me, he said to me, look, Paul, I'm giving you a window. I'm giving a space. I'm giving you a window to take people to Israel. This might be my last trip ever to take a tour of people there. It just could be. And after the stroke I had, I didn't think I was ever going to go back. I really didn't, especially when I had trouble walking. I just thought, this is it. I'm not going to go back. It's just too much walking when you're there and going to all the holy sites. I just not. But then I've been feeling better and better, so I'm gonna make that trip. All right, guys. God bless you. I love you guys. I'll see you here, there, or in the air. I hope you're going too. Are you saved?